The story in this game wasn't about Green Bay. We know the NFC North is good. We know Minnesota, Detroit, and Green Bay are good. It's about rebuilding for the Niners. And rebuilding in the NFL, when everybody in the building knows, like the Raiders, hey, we got to get a quarterback. It's much easier, I think, than being San Francisco sometimes. Because San Francisco is a mile from Detroit, Philly, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo. But I don't think they think that. And so there's disagreement in the building. Now, there are a lot. Now, I'm not saying the Niners are the Raiders. I'd rather be the Niners than the Raiders. But everybody in the building with the Raiders knows we got to get a quarterback. All of our energy to get a quarterback. I mean, you start looking at San Francisco. Obviously, Trent Williams, 38, expensive, maybe the last year or two. Everybody knows that. But what do you do with Christian McCaffrey or Debo or Greenlaw or Kittle? Or a lot of these players, what do you do with Brock Purdy? You going to pay him the bag? Why would you pay him early? Now,
okay, let's talk about this, okay? Because what this game was all about was actually Brock Purdy and the importance of what Brock Purdy can do. I'm going to go over this a couple times because Nick Wright said something that he said this weeks ago, and I know they're going to talk about this on First Things First. So I was excited. I took notes. I went back and dug deep into the stats. I am ready for this one right now. Nick Wright said before that if a quarterback steps up into a team, a backup quarterback, and continues to play great, the offense continues to play great, you have to question how good is that quarterback? How good is the starting quarterback now that the backup quarterback was able to step in? He kind of used that to kind of call out Jaden Daniels before. He's used it to call out Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, all this type of stuff. And if that statement is true, then the opposite has to be true. That when you keep criticizing a quarterback, even though he's playing pretty well and the team is playing pretty well, and he's not a reason why they're not maybe playing as great, and you bring in a backup quarterback, you got to see what happens. Because everyone keeps saying that anyone can do Brock Purdy's job. That he's not actually a top quarterback in the NFL. He's overrated. He's not special. He's not that good. It's all about the Avengers and Shanahan and all of that. Well, that's really, really interesting. Because this season, the 49ers, okay, on third down conversions are top 4. Against the Packers without Brock Purdy, they were the 31st. They were the 8th in scoring offense. Against the Packers without Brock Purdy, they are 32nd bottom. Passing, top 4. Without Brock Purdy, bottom 10. First downs, top 4. Total first downs a game. Top 4, they average 22. Carolina, which is the worst in the NFL, they average 15 first downs. The 49ers yesterday without Brock Purdy had, checks notes, 11. I can get 11 first downs. 11 first downs. Time of possession, they're second in the NFL. They average top 2. They're 32 to 33 minutes. They were at the way bottom. Jacksonville, okay? Jacksonville typically will average 25. They had 23. I mean, and what changed? I mean, Christian McCaffrey's there. Kittle's there. Debo's there. Jennings there, Juszczyk's there, Shanahan's there. What changed? Brock Purdy. It's time to give some credit to what Brock Purdy can do for the 49ers. 17 for 29, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 76 rating, and 2 fumbles. They were 3 for 10 on third down, 0 for 2 on fourth, 3 turnovers. I mean, this was just an awful game. Truly. The 49ers they're in a mess right now. I mean, obviously they're banged up and injured. If anything, this kind of benefits them. they can get like a top 5, top 7 draft pick, because they do have a lot of really expensive players right now. And so they are going to need some cheap players in their draft. I mean, listen, I'm not ever counting out the 49ers. I mean, maybe if Brock Purdy's not there and you don't have a quarterback. But I think this team is a mess. I think the fact that Purdy went down. I mean, here's the thing. People question Tua Tagovailoa. And then when they saw him not playing and saw what the Dolphins looked like, it was a disaster. An absolute disaster. And a lot of people gave credit to Tua or gave credit to everyone else on Miami than Tua in years past, right? They gave it to the coach, to Tyreek, etc., etc., etc. And now we saw Tua not be on the team, and the Dolphins were an absolute disaster. Now they put Tua back on the team, and it's like a high-powered offense, ripping off wins. I mean, they're playing like they're a top team in the NFL. I mean, no doubt about it. And now what did we just see with the 49ers? Brock Purdy went down, and they get rolled 38-10. I mean, this wasn't even close. The box office and the drop-off in performance is staggering. And again, Christian McCaffrey's there. Jennings is there. Kittle is there. Juszczyk is there. Debo is there. Shanahan is there. Where's the offense? Are we saying, oh, well, Ayuk wasn't there? I mean, like, is he the missing piece there? Or did the offense just look significantly worse? So maybe Purdy is actually worth something? Maybe Purdy is a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL? Maybe he's a big reason why the 49ers have been successful? You think? You think the quarterback that's been playing great and has been leading charge on this team? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, if you want to question how much money should you give Brock Purdy, I'm not even interested in doing that right now. I'm really not. I'm really not. First off, I think he's going to take a great deal anyway. I don't think Brock Purdy's going to, force the 49ers' hand. I think he's a great person, a great leader, understands the importance of building a great team around him. I think he knows that. And I think he's the type of person that knows deeply that, you know what, $50 million is enough for me to be really, really happy. I don't need a $65 million contract or whatever it is. So I think the 49ers will be in a good position. I think they do need to do like a, I don't know if it's a soft rebuild. Again, these words often have little meaning. But I think the 49ers are just a very, very well-run team. I think they need potentially like a slight culture shift, just like a sidestep, because I think things started to get muddled, messy. You're starting to see fights. Ayuk, I think, was toxic. I know he's still on the team, and I think the 49ers regret that whole thing. I think they knew that they were trying to hold this thing together, right? Christian McCaffrey only has so many more years left. Debo will only have so many more years left. Kittle. They know that. I think they were really trying to go all in for a last 1 or 2 year run with this like true, healthy, prime nucleus to kind of get back to the Super Bowl and get that win. Because that was their Super Bowl to lose last year. And they lost it, right? I mean, a lot of things had to go wrong for them. The Greenlaw injury, the Christian McCaffrey fumble, the muff, what was it? I forget at this point. Was it a punt or a kick return? Whatever it was. A lot of things had to have gone wrong just for them to just barely lose in overtime. And so they're right there. And I think they were just trying to be like, we just got to do everything we can to like get back there, to run this back. But then injuries derailed it. A couple just bad losses that were on them outside of injuries. And that's the team that you have right now. And you have to face that reality. So that's why I think it's not like a reset or a reboot, but they just need to make some really intentional, targeted changes from a roster construction, from a cultural construction, from a coaching. They just have to really kind of honestly go into an office and just sit and talk for the next like 5 hours and be like, these are all the things that we need to do. We really need to kind of mix and match and make some interesting decisions here. This is not just, hey, we got to get everyone healthy, let's go. I think being healthy would solve a lot of problems, but I think it has the potential to also hide some of the other problems as well. But you're just not going to count out a team like the San Francisco 49ers. They are such a highly, highly, highly run franchise with a lot of great players. Not only great players, but then great personalities as well. And that is where Purdy is going to shine. That's why get behind Purdy. It will go a long way. He's the type of person, he's the culture and the leader that you want this team to start to have the foundation. Not Brandon Ayuk. You want your team to start to take on the identity of a Brock Purdy. And you will be significantly better off for it. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the 49ers? Do you think that they can bounce back and make the playoffs? What do you think's been going on with them? Is it just injuries and nothing else? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.